Hello, Facebook fans and YouTube fans of DX Engineering. We are back. It's Tuesday afternoon here in the Eastern time zone of the USA. It is 18:15 Zulu on March 4th, 2025. And this is Tuesdays with DX Engineering. This is a show where we have DX Engineering employees, team members, come on and talk about their favorite subject, ham radio. And one of our best guys is on with us today. It's Rod, K3LR, K8 Radio. Hello, Rod. How are you?
Good afternoon, Tim. I am doing just fine. It's a beautiful day here in Cincinnati, where I happen to be. And what's it like up in Northeast Ohio?
It is just the same weather, beautiful
Gorgeous.
and 60 degrees. And
Ah,
it's the kind of weather, Rod, that I know our customers are feeling like you and me. We want to go outside and put up an antenna.
that's exactly right. I can't wait. Actually, I've been trying to pull myself away from the writing and the emails and get myself outside to work on an antenna project.
Well, and so there are two kinds of projects, right? There are the repair projects because for what reason we don't know, something stopped working. Then there is the new antenna projects, and if you're like me, you keep notes all winter long on here are the things I want to do when a nice day like today comes along. But I wanted to talk a little bit about um, just band conditions and the fact that we are in the middle of the Sunspot peak and just how exciting that is, Rod. We're coming up on the equinox. The geochron is going almost straight up and down. So, and the equinox is a great time to be on the HF bands, right?
It is. It's once in a 11-year opportunity. I mean, sometimes it seems like it's 11 or 12, but you don't really know when the peak is going to be. And I recall there was a peak in the past that was actually a double peak where it went up, it went back down, and then went back up again. I don't know if that was around the year 2000, 2001, 2002, but this time it's high. I mean, it's a high peak and the conditions are amazing. And that was evident in the ARLDX contest over the weekend, where 10 meters was just like almost all day and well into the night, and it was fun. It was fun. I threw up a new half wave vertical, and I was making contacts depending upon the time of day, of course, with stations all the way from Greece and Africa and Asiatic Russia down to South America. I picked up VKZLs and Japan in the evening was super easy. And this is with 100 watts. I'm not talking about, I have a big, huge beam and a great big tower and a kilowatt or 1500 watts. This is with 100 watts and a halfway vertical on a push-up mast at 20 feet.
So the investment dollars is really low when it's on a
Unbelievable.
push-up mast and the halfway vertical. But what's interesting, and I was talking to Frank W3LPL about this on Sunday night just after the contest. For a flux of 140 rod, I mean that's not breaking any records.
That wasn't huge. That's right.
Right. And he reminded me that hey, the good sunspots, the big sunspots, the majority of the really good sunspots are on the other side of the sun right now, and
Eh,
so they're not Earth facing. So we're not enjoying. When it's Earth facing, the flux gets right around 200, and now and that's 2 weeks away. That's
That's
two
right.
weeks away.
2 weeks from
So
now, it should be like day and night, a long distance where you could hear uh, 4 or 5 thousand miles in both directions, right?
right,
On 10
right.
meters.
Right. And this assumes that we don't have a coronal hole or a coronal mass ejection or something that would disturb things. But it's always helpful to take a look at what's going on. WWV will tell us about the flux. and there's lots of internet sites that record the flux and the K index, which are two really important numbers. But the emphasis that Frank was, even with a flux of 140, look at the fun that you had with a very simple setup, and on 10 meters where technicians have 200 kilohertz.
That's right. Techs could get on 10 meters phone from 28.3 to 28.5 megahertz. And some of the guys can get one of these relatively inexpensive 10-meter radios and get on with a wire dipole. I mean, you could build a wire dipole for 10 meters with, for just I don't know what, like $5 or $10 or something like that. People do when they have to, they do things very cheaply, and it's possible to get on and have a lot of fun with ham radio and HF, even if you don't have a general class or an advanced class license.
Right. And so, and Rod, you bring up a really good point about the simple dipole antenna, just 16 feet long. That's it. We're talking about 16 feet. You throw it up over a tree, you hook up RG8X. If you had some RG213, might be a little better. But at the end of the day, even RG58, and you plug it in the back of the radio, and you're right. It doesn't have to be an expensive radio. And, I'm a big fan of used radios.
Well, I mean, look,
Right, right.
that's all
Used
I
radios.
have for
Yeah.
used radios, and I try to cycle them through and make them work every now and then, and admire the ones that don't work, of course. But almost all of them work, and I just like to bring out another one every now and then, like this FT102 down here that was restored several years ago. It actually puts out 180 watts, and it's kind of amazing how good the receiver in that radio is from 35 or 40 years ago. It's unbelievable, but this is the point, is that it doesn't take a lot of money or a huge antenna system to have fun, especially now that the sunspot cycle is high.
Right. And let's not forget about FT8, because FT8 is a game changer.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely game changer when it comes to working long distances with low power. I mean, it's really, really good. And we have lots of our friends are in the chat room, Rod. So let's take a look and see what's chatting up here. Richard is on with us. Mike 0 Delta Sierra Kilo, and he says, "I hope you guys are having a great day." We are, because we're working at the best place on the planet here at DX Engineering. It was good to work K3LR on 5 bands last weekend. Richard, thanks so much for the QSOs, and always good to see you here on chat. Speaking of the contest, there's young Michael, W3MLJ, from just north of Pittsburgh. And nice to have you on, Michael. And we've got Chris, Kilo 1, India 1 Papa. Got spring fever here in Vermont, out doing antenna repairs as we speak. That's a great thing, Rod. They can watch us on their phones, live,
that's right.
live TV. Our friend Scotty Meyer, team member here at DX Engineering, Kilo Golf 9 Zulu, and our good friend Michael Mowry. Mike is KE3 Juliet Papa, and I know he's trying to get on 30 meters. He's looking for a used 30-meter antenna, Rod. So if we hear something, we want to pass that along to Mike. And we've got Jen's on, Delta Lima 1 Whiskey. And all the way from the other side of the world, Rod, and it's got to be, I don't know, midnight where No Deer is.
Right.
Echo Yankee 8 Mike, and No Deer has been here to K3LR and been to DX Engineering, and great conditions. No Deer's coming back to Hamvention this year, which is great. Time for rare top 10 D expeditions to get on, and because that makes it so that more guys can work the D expeditions, right? When we have these great conditions.
That's right. I mean, at the other side of the cycle, in 5 or 6 years, you have very limited numbers of sunspots, rather poor conditions on the high bands, and that's when big stations can take advantage of the conditions that are really great for 160 meters and 80 meters. They have the power, they have the big antennas. But right now is the time when it doesn't take much to get on and have a lot of fun on 10 meters, 12, 15, 17, 20 with a 5 band antenna of some sort. You're going to be able to just cash in at this time of the sunspot cycle.
It is
Have fun.
it's a great time to be on the air, and we've got lots of antennas in stock, lots of coax in stock. We got the connectors on the coax already for you. Brian is on. I think Brian was in a multi-op over the weekend, or he might have been on CW, but I did see Brian was at a multi-op. He said he was running 10-meter sideband, W7 Juliet Echo Tango. He's running 10-meter sideband Sunday morning for the contest. Had a fantastic rate from 1430 Zulu to 16 Zulu, well over 100 an hour to Europe. And Brian is in Arizona, Rod. So that's a
That's
tough thing.
that's spectacular to be able to be that far south and west and get that kind of a rate to Europe. That tells you things were going pretty well.
Things were going great. And another DX engineering team member, Mike Murphy, is on with us. That's Kilo India 8 Radio, and ready for some radiotherapy with Parks on the Air now that the weather is improving. And boy, I'll tell you, during the week, thank God that guys were putting Parks on the Air, Rod. There wouldn't be anybody on.
That's right. I mean, there were times in the past, of course, before Parks on the Air, when you would get on the HF bands during the day because so many guys are busy doing things, they're working, they're not on the bands. The bands they were empty, but now there's more people getting out. More
Yes.
people have restrictions. They can't put up towers and big antennas at home. And so now they get out with their portable equipment or in their mobiles. They go to parks and they activate parks for Parks on the Air.
Yeah.
If you haven't checked it out, go to the website for Parks on the Air, POTA.com. I think it sounds right. And that it's a lot of fun to get involved in. Not only collecting as a home station parks on the air stations, but also going out and activating parks.
Yes. And what a great club activity. And it can also be done single op. Brian wanted to further indicate in Arizona, he was using a KT36 tribander at 65 feet with full tilt boogie power. So,
Right.
Yeah.
That's and it's common actually to have a tribander at 60 to 70 feet. It's not a massive tower. It's not a massive antenna, and with with a kilowatt or full legal limit, that really does a lot. And that's one of the things I noticed with my little vertical is I'm not busting pileups with 100 watts and a little vertical. Keep in mind that it takes some effort to get through, but you just keep at it and you can get through and get some really rare DX in some of these contests. And also, even if you're just out there working POTA, you can get some rare DX stations calling you.
Yeah, no, that is very true. And we have Thomas, November Golf 3 Quebec on. Always enjoy the Tuesday show. And from Italy, it's India Kilo 4 Victor Echo Tango. And our good friend from down in Texas, Steve, November Alpha 5 Charlie. Good afternoon, guys. I'm working on building a DXE 7580 FS VA2 vertical, waiting on one of the boxes to ship. And boy, you're going to have a lot of fun with that antenna.
Yeah,
Steve.
that's a great antenna, man.
Really good.
I've helped put one up and used that antenna in the past, and it's a great 80 meter antenna. And also, I just wanted to go back for a second to the notion that even if you can't take advantage of the bands right now, because 10 meters is great, or even if you can't take advantage of the weather, because it's beautiful today, but it could be cold or rainy tomorrow or something like that. Make plans. Just
Yep.
make plans to
Great
do
plans.
these things. Put it on a schedule. Don't talk about it. Don't think about it. Put it on your calendar. Make time, and then
Yep.
you'll get the benefit and the reward.
Here's Don, Whiskey Juliet 3 United. He's watching on his phone. And our good friend Kevin up in Alaska, November Lima 7 Mike. Now that sounds like he might have, he was Kilo Lima 7 Kilo Yankee. He might have slipped in a call sign change here. So we'll have to follow up with that. Brian said he was part of the AA7A team. Of course, that's Ned and the team operating from the NA7 Tango Bravo remote. Another team member, it's Dave, K Delta Victor. Hello, Tim and Rod. Been changing out some coax. Everybody needs coax, Rod.
Now's the time.
Yeah, taking advantage of the great weather down there, very close to you, Rod, in Cincinnati. Reinhard, Delta Hotel 3, November Alpha Bravo, is on from Germany. And let's see here. We have a new ham. I'm nervous. I just got on HF last February. Hopefully my setup, which isn't great now, will still work when the cycle isn't so good. And the good news is it will. And
Sure.
so we're glad that you're in the hobby and you're in for the ride of your life. It is going to be great. Well, Rod, thanks very much for coming on with me today and talking about band conditions and talking about how much fun this hobby is, because it is the best hobby in the world. There's no doubt about that. And thank you for helping all of our customers with your long list of experiences. And we're really glad to have you on the team and hope to see you
Thanks.
next week at the home company.
Yes, I'll be up for a visit, and we'll see the folks up there. And boy, I'm really excited about all the new things that are coming around for DX Engineering as we celebrate our 25th anniversary.
25 years and going strong and getting bigger and better every day. So thanks to all of you for watching. Oh, here's Andre from Low Band Systems. Andre, we want to do business with you soon. Let's get some things settled out. And it's Radio Alpha 6 Lima Bravo Sierra. Andre, good to have you on. And we love the low band systems equipment. So hope to talk to you soon. Thanks to all of you for watching today. We hope you had a good time. And we'll see you on Thursday for the DX Engineering Manufacturing Showcase. Until then, 73.
7-3.